Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Isaac Macro channel. So, today, I'm just going for a drive after getting a bunch of housework done. I just want to discuss the topic of opportunities and luck. Because I believe that people have this false idea that opportunities can't be created and luck can't be created. It just comes and goes, and you just have to take advantage when it gets there. I beg to differ. I believe you can fabricate environments which are very conducive of luck being the byproduct of whatever your action is, right? So, on the topic of networks, connections, monetary gain, social mobility, I truly believe that you can increase your odds of these things occurring. And once you get one that happens, you have like a flywheel effect. So it's one of those cases where I think you have to reject what the societal norm is and what people say, and instead you have to listen to what the mechanics are behind how this stuff sort of works. Because I believe, specifically, let's talk about the topic of opportunity. So what is opportunity? To me, opportunity is you're in a situation that's lower than where you want to be, and you have an opportunity to go higher than where you are currently. That's how I would define it on a very basic conceptual level. You're essentially being offered I'm not saying you're offered it without a bunch of hard work, but you're being offered a situation where you can work, whatever you need to do, or talk to someone, whatever it is, to then increase your status, your monetary position, or your flywheel of momentum. So the flywheel of momentum is constructed by a positive feedback loop, which feeds itself. So let's say an example here. So you meet someone who then opens up a door, who then keeps opening up doors to you. It's an environment that you're in. You go to a place, you go to a distribution platform, whatever it is, right? That enables you as a person to get leverage. At the end of the day, it boils down to leverage and increasing where you are in your socioeconomic laddering position, the social hierarchy, whatever it is. Whether that's your motive or not, I think the base perspective of a normal human being would be to increase their position in where they are in life, so to get better along, so they have not necessarily an easier life, but a life of more abundance, opportunity, less scarcity, less fear. So these are things that are programmed into you for survival, right? Because if you don't have that, then you're probably going to die out. So I think fundamentally everything can get boiled down to the base biological matters. And the base biological matters boil down to survival and reproduction and keeping your legacy going. So everything can be funneled back into that first order principle as to why people do what they do and any incentives as to do what they do. People increase their social status to get a better mate, better health, better everything. You can deny it all you want, but there's a very high correlation between people's decisions and then the base first principles, which is surviving, being socially accepted, and then all of that. So how does this tie into the situation where you're less privileged but you want to ascend in the ladder of opportunity? Well, I believe you can fabricate it. Now, I'm saying this from a first world country, being very, very privileged. But yeah, I still have this inclination to want to do better than what my station in life is, right? Obviously, I'm not a millionaire or anything right now, but I have aspirations and drive to perform and do well, because also I want to have a good life, and I also want to look back and be like, I actually tried things and did well in my life, right? Not one of these lives of regret when you're 50 and you're like, oh, what did I do? I just wasted my entire life. So this is what I'm trying to say. I think you can really fabricate opportunity, like artificially. Even then, I don't even think it's artificial. I don't think there's any such thing as random luck opportunity. There might be the one-off situation where maybe a movie director comes over your doorstep and then they like you. I think Chris Pratt, a really good story or something about that. But for the most part, we're not factoring 1 in a million sort of like things, right? So what I would say, at the end of the day, opportunity really boils down to people, because people are the gatekeepers of networks, systems, connections, ecosystems, and just really anything. So if you can gain people's trust, I think you're in a really good situation. So you need to create a trust flywheel, which enables you to get that trust. So this is something that I've really come to realize like in the last year or so, because when I was I'm 22 now, when I was 18 and 19, whatever, you know, I wasn't really thinking in terms of leverage, systems, incentives, power structures, status. And when I say status, I'm talking about like the trying to climb on people and beat them up. I'm talking about positive sum games where you're trying to help people out, get socially included in the groups you want to be in, right? It's very important to do that. So, and I'll go into my story right now and what's happening and how I'm currently going to be playing this. So I think that, yeah, you can really fabricate that. And I think it starts with picking some sort of skill set and really providing value to someone that's higher than you for free. I would argue that's like your best leverage lever pool there. You can provide something to someone for free, and they, through time and duration, that's why it's better to start young, and it takes a lot of hard work. But if you do that, you really put yourself in a good situation where you have mentors, you have connections, you have an ecosystem available to you. So reach out to people who are above you in whatever field you're in and say, hey, I would love to do this for you for free. Order, like, say you'll pay for their dinner. That's the thing, that's the sacrifices you gotta make when you're young, right? So, hey sir, I will, whatever the case is, person, whatever. Hey such and such, I'd love to hear more about what you do there and what I can provide for you for free. I'd also love to pay for dinner for you, and let's go eat out or something and have a chat about this. So anything like that. Now all it takes is one of those things, and then that's a trust barrier that's dropped in terms of people allow you into a network. And when you're in a network, you can get so many more connections once you're in the network. So you need to get in the ecosystems. If you're socially isolated, you're not going to get into the ecosystem. So it's very important that you get into these ecosystems in a very smart way, because when you're young, you don't have much leverage. So as time goes on, you do have more leverage, assuming you do the right things. But one thing people seem to forget is that compounding works negatively and positively. So if you don't do the right things when you're my age, then it's going to compound negatively, and you're not going to have any trust level you get, because people are going to think, why aren't you trusted, and that sort of stuff. Different timelines for different things, like relationships are a little bit different for men and women. A man typically doesn't have to rush into things. That being said, it's everything in life is variable, so you can't look at life and say it's a binary thing, right? So everyone's life's going to be different too. So I would encourage everyone to step out of this doomer ideology that my fellow Gen Zers succumb to. Because yes, there are a lot of bad things, but there's also been a lot of bad things throughout history, okay? It hasn't always been sunshine and rainbows. Yes, the boomers had a good time, but that was also dependent on which boomer you were. And I think fundamentally the base constraints remain the same, which are going to be the fact that you're going to need networks, connections, and being able to provide something and some sort of distribution platform. So for me, that's YouTube, that's Instagram, that's LinkedIn, that's all the different things above. It's having dinners and lunches with people who are powerful and people who know more things than I do, and me being humble and saying to them, yes, I want to learn from you. I'm not any smarter, I'm not that smart. I want to learn, but one thing I am is I'm ambitious and I'm hungry and I'm hardworking and I'm loyal. And I feel like you'll be surprised by how many people actually will give you a chance and help you out. Now, I say these under the base constraints that you take care of how you look, you take care of how you speak, you take care of how you carry yourself. So drop bad habits, hit the gym, eat well, get outside. I'm going to the beach right now for a swim solo by myself, actually, because my friends aren't always free, and that's okay. Get used to being by yourself too. Sit with your thoughts, learn who you are, don't feel the need for constant social validation. That's how you will ascend to a higher level than where you currently are. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because at 22 years old, I've been able to put myself in rooms which typically 22-year-olds shouldn't be in, okay? I'm still in university. Now, I'll get into that in a second, but Scott Galloway says it really well. Prof G, you can type him up on YouTube. Professor G, Scott Galloway. He says young men need to take risks. They need to put themselves in rooms that make them, or push them, and ultimately just be comfortable being uncomfortable. And this will pay off very, very drastically, and I'm already seeing the ramifications of that happening right now. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Every day I wake up, there's blood, sweat, and tears. There's work being put in. There's losses that take place. There's big wins that take place. There's there's the grind, right? And that's a prerequisite to getting anywhere in life. You can't expect it to come easy. And if you're expecting it to come easy, forget it. You're out of the game, bro. You're not getting anything. Life is meant to be difficult, and sacrifice is what makes it worthwhile, okay? So, with that said, I would say to everyone here that is my age, above or below, I'd probably extend this to 30 because you can still capture really good upside at 30. But you got to start now. So with luck and opportunity, like I said, guys, it's positioning, it's putting yourself in the right environments. This is why, one thing about me is I switch topics a lot, but I'll get back to, let me just go back to where I said I was going to do when I said what rooms I'd be able to put myself into. So at 22 years old, I've been able to put myself into investment meetings, investment discussions. In fact, they're all my YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel right now, you can go to the lowered on the homepage and scroll down to the bit where it says how I'm trading my wealth live. And you can follow that and the videos I do there. I put myself in rooms I shouldn't necessarily be in. I'm going to Dubai in around 11 days or 12 days to meet up with the Moon Group, which is a crypto company that does market analysis. They do market affiliates, brand deals, all that sort of sponsorships, distribution platforms essentially. The thing about those networks is those are very large nodes in the larger node system for my specific niche. Now that's not even just niche specific, there's so many more things that go into it. People know people, right? This is why I think it's very important to not burn bridges. And you know, the thing is, everyone has their good sides and bad sides. Everyone's got a good and bad side. I have a good and bad side. I'm not a perfect person. But you don't need to burn bridges with people. Like, what you can do if people are not providing anything and they're just dragging your energy down, you can just slow ghost them. You don't have to like burn the bridge with them. Because also, you never know what's going to happen in their future. Maybe they'll change. Maybe they'll become someone who actually has motion in life like yourself, or whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do. So you never know. And it's not about using them, it's about creating networks of support. Think of it like building a tower that has triangular formations. So the triangular formations are just the networks in the node. So, you know, as long as people seem promising, it's definitely worth keeping them around. Now, I say all this because in life, you don't know what you don't know until you get there, and you can only connect the dots when you look back in time. Now, since you can only do that, that means the prerequisite to getting there is just doing hard things and running a search function on life, essentially. That puts yourself and expands your wings. And I feel like with AI, if you ask the right questions, you can really get some crazy answers and put yourself in these really good nodes of connections. You just gotta know what to ask. And I'd say, if that's a problem you're struggling with, I would say definitely go to my butterfly effect video, which is in the description down below. Also, in the video list I made, the video beneath this video, I run a video called Butterfly Effect. Watch that video, and at the end of the video, there's a list of words I want you to go into ChatGPT or Grok, whatever, and prompt AI about those topics and understand them very fruitfully. And if you can do that, what that will do is that will awaken your scope of awareness and be able to put yourself in positioning environments where you can capture asymmetric opportunity. Now, I say this to all the men who want a better life and who don't want to feel stuck in life, okay? And I'm assuming that's you. So, without further ado, I suggest you guys do that. And I think that's it. I think don't get sucked in the doom mindset. Be positive and put yourself out there every day. And yeah, it starts with health, energy, nutrition, and all those things, because we are energetic beings on a frequency that we emit frequencies, whether you like it or not. Just like light emits a wave, humans emit a frequency, an aura, a vibe, and people want to know what that vibe is. It's like why some people have crazy success and others don't, right? Others seem to literally repel success and live lives of constant enslavement, enslaved to desires, enslaved to all sorts of things. If you can succumb that and win within that arena, you're opening yourself for immense opportunity and immense success. So, without further ado, my ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video I make, when the idea pops into my mind, the epiphany of opportunity and insight. For now, have a great day. Isaac Ho signing out. I think the date's, what's the date today? It is the 8th of January. I'm 22 years old, and I feel like I will look back at these videos when I'm older and be like, damn, I had the right mindset. And obviously I'm going to iterate as I go on. I don't have gospel information. But I feel like I have a good take on how things currently are situated. So, with that being said, have an amazing day. I will catch you guys in the next update.